Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 279. Damn, I've been doing this a long time. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer. Alongside the prodigal son has returned to us. He's blessed us with his graces. His hair is looking majestic. His beard is on point. Crash, how are you?
Hello. I'm doing good, you know.
You miss me?
Honestly, I haven't thought about you.
Bro, what the hell? You're meant to miss me. That's me.
We had a conversation before this podcast, you know.
Oh, that was enough. Look, 10 seconds. That was 10 seconds ago. How dare you, sir? Say it to the people. They've been waiting for this moment.
I just want everybody who's listening to know I have missed Fix greatly and dearly.
Thank you.
It has been like I've had a piece of me missing for the past month.
Was that so hard?
Plus.
Was that so hard?
Yeah, I gotta go vomit. I'll be right back.
How are things? How is the new home? Obviously, I've had so many people in my Twitch chat, like, where's Krish? Is Krish okay? I'm like, Krish is fine. He's just moved. It's okay. Calm down, everyone. Yeah. He's okay. It's all right. So how is it?
It's good. It's still a work in progress. Still work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a thing, you know.
So how long do you think you're going to be stuck in the area you're in at the moment? Is it a long period, or do you think it's going to be a short period? Is it what is it? Do you know, or is it too hard to say?
Honestly, like my mind is like every time I push it back like a week, like, oh, it'll be goodbye next week, and then just gets pushed back another week and another week. It's like when I was moving out, I packed up out early, and then every time I was like, oh no, we're moving it back.
Yeah,
and it just kept happening. So
I don't think about it.
Clue.
I respect it. Just don't think about it. It'll happen when it happens. I understand.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a plethora of news for us to talk about, Crash. Let me tell you. This is My Xbox and Me, our weekly Xbox podcast here on youtube.com/myxboxandme. And of course, you can get it on all podcast services. Remember, you can get the show early over on patreon.com/mcfixer. I will totally admit, I love you Patreon supporters. As you all know, thank you for supporting and keeping the lights on and all that jazz. I've been terrible about getting them up early and the live recordings, strictly because first week, obviously, COVID, second week and third week, it kind of all synced in. We're on the last week, I think, or last 2 weeks in January. I promise going forward it will be better. So if you are someone that supports on Patreon, please bear with me. I understand that things have got off to a rocky start for me this year. It wasn't even that. It's the having COVID, which sucked. Then there was the Haley being stuck in the bedroom, so I couldn't work. So I couldn't record early. We couldn't record on Tuesdays. And then finding guests to come in or doing it on my own since we didn't know what was going on with Crash. I've got a lot of excuses. I promise it will get better from here. I promise. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are watching on YouTube. We are trying to grow that. And we are literally less than 200 watch time hours away from the channel being monetized, Crash. So that's something new. I'll be honest, me and the Discord, shout out, I've got to give a shout out to like Loki, Mike, and Anne, and everybody they've been putting the playlist on and muting the tab and just letting it play through. And we got like 93 episodes just on this channel in that playlist. So they've just been letting it play through all day. So shout out to those guys helping us get this channel monetized. Appreciate it. Big shout out as well to our Patreon producers. Shout out to Erengard. Shout out to FNH Paul. And of course, shout out to the one and only Al Tribesman. Thank you all so much for supporting the show, keeping us on the air, and keeping us going. Topic of the show this week, Crash. Again, I don't know how much you've been on the internet, because this one was, dude. I'll read the headline. Microsoft is now not changing their Xbox Live pricing, and free-to-play games are actually free-to-play now. Before we get into the story, let me just give you a bit of context here, Crash. I was so ready to rip Xbox a new one. Like, the stupidity of this company, in my opinion on this, is ridiculous. So for those who don't understand the context of what I'm talking about, maybe you live under a rock, you live out in the sticks, and you only listen to My Xbox and Me, the best Xbox podcast. Microsoft announced that they were going to be charging $120 a year for Xbox Live Gold pricing. So for those of you who don't know what that meant, it was a $60 increase because it used to be $60 a year, which would get you Xbox Live to be able to play online and obviously your games with gold. So the context of this story is they were trying to charge double for us to play on it. Did you see any of this play out, Crash?
Yeah, so I woke up the morning that this news broke, and my brother had texted me, and he's like, "Do you think this is true?" Because it was a rumor at the time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, Microsoft's not this stupid. This is 100% like they had like the gift card or whatever." I was like, "That's photoshopped. It's not real." This, that, and the third, and then later on, at like literally maybe 10 or 20 minutes later, Microsoft confirmed it. I texted my brother like, "No, I was wrong. That's 100% real," and it felt like so backwards for what Microsoft has been as of late.
Dude,
So out of pocket for them.
It went from it. I was absolutely flabbergasted by it. I almost made a video on it. I thought, Joe, what? I'm gonna wait on this one. I'm gonna wait. It would have been easy views and all that stuff. I was like, no, I need to think. I need to speak. I need to speak elegant on this. Nah, I will say this. From a business point of view, I understood why they were trying to do this, which is twofold. Number one, Xbox Live was reported back in April to have 90 million subscribers, all paying $60 a month, right? Imagine being able to charge 90 million people double. That would have covered the cost of everything going through Game Pass going forward, right? So what they were going to try and do is people who didn't want to have Game Pass, because that's what they were trying to do, push more people to Game Pass and get the extra, I think it was going to work out to be like an extra £3, so like $3, because I think it would go from like £10 a month to like 12 and something like that. Those were the numbers they were working with. It was what happens in this business terms is if you can nickel and dime people that little, it usually turns out to be a lot of money when you do it to millions upon millions of people, obviously. But this just seemed like a move of the old Xbox. Like, it literally did. When I saw this, I was like, wow, we back in the Don Matrick era? Like, is that where we're at right now? That you want to, during a global pandemic where people are losing their jobs, gaming is up in every way, shape, or form. More games are being sold, more people are playing games, more people are spending money on free-to-play games. Like, everything is up, and then you want to choose to nickel and dime people. It was weird. To see this come out of Xbox, it was weird. To me, go on.
I wasn't like, I'm not bothered by the price increase. Like,
double?
I don't think that's. I was about to get to that. I'm not bothered by the price increase. I'm bothered that it was double.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's not like instead of 60, it's 70. It's like you haven't really done much to add the value for it to be 70. I feel like, but you know what? You want to charge 70? Cool. You do you. That's your prerogative. But to go from 60 to 120 is such a wild move.
Bro, I've never heard of a business plan where you charge someone double for the exact same thing.
Yeah. No, absolutely. The only way I can rationalize it is two ways. One is they're like, we are a premium service, so we cost 120, which I don't think is the case. Yeah. And the other is like, they never planned on going through with this, and this was some sort of press, which I don't think is the case either.
No, I disagree. It definitely ain't that. I did see the conspiracy theorists out there. Oh, this was Xbox plan all along. They just wanted to get the bad PR to get the good PR, yada, yada. That's not how business works, trust me. They just want the good PR. Because all people now will talk about is, because I already had it in my chat. Did you see this? It's like, they've already reversed that. It's like, yeah, but they were going to. I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I was absolutely shocked when I saw the price, and that was my thing. I totally agree with you on that, which is, if you're going to give me double the value, I'll pay double the price. But you don't charge PC, you don't charge mobile phones for gold. I'm talking about for gold services.
Yeah.
But you're going to charge me because I choose to play on a console that I bought for $500.
Yeah, it
doesn't make sense.
Really, really weird. Especially with like the next Halo coming out to be free to play, and that brought up the whole conversation. People were talking about, free to play games should be free to play. You shouldn't have to have gold for them.
This is a perfect place. This is a perfect place to bring in Adam Bankhurst's article from IGN, which says Microsoft has announced that it will be reversing its decision and will not charge Xbox Live Gold pricing. Furthermore, free-to-play games will no longer require Xbox Live Gold memberships to play Xbox consoles. as detailed in the Xbox Wire report, blah, 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 blah. The statement that Microsoft put out read as such. We messed up today, and you were right to let us know. Connecting and playing with friends is a vital part of gaming, and we failed to meet the expectations of players who count on it every day as a result. We have decided not to change Xbox Live pricing. We're turning this moment into an opportunity to bring Xbox Live more in line with how we see the player at the center of the experience. Free-to-play games will truly be free-to-play, and you will no longer need an Xbox Live Gold membership to play those games on Xbox. We are working hard to deliver this change as soon as possible in the coming months. So, number one, I want to be on the record of saying Xbox tried to pull it on us. And I'm very happy with the internet in this turn of we all didn't take it laying down. Journalists wrote the articles, Twitter users had their Twitter say, YouTubers had their say, and Xbox decided this was the right thing to do. I'm happy as a community we can make change. And I think that is a super positive and good thing to happen in our industry, which is we call out bullshit we don't like. This isn't the same as even as much as I don't like them, this isn't the same as loot boxes and stuff and pay to win. Unfortunately, this isn't even the same thing because, again, I know they suck and they suck deeply. But this people like to complain about certain things. And I feel like this was a thing worthy of complaining. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That being said, I can't stand the fanboy warism. I can't do it anymore. I think I've become an old man. I think I'm finally there because I saw on Twitter just the amount of, oh, you play on Xbox, you're taking the biggest L and look, get ratioed. And I'm like, damn, I'm an old man because all this stuff is stupid.
It's just dumb and petty. And it's like, whenever I see it, it's just like, why? Why do you care? And why are you bothered that somebody else plays on a different box than you? Like,
it baffles me.
No one cares.
No, well, the problem is
they should. No one.
A
should
lot
care.
of people
No
care. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But yeah, no, I think this was I don't think this decision come from the people we know. I don't think this was a Phil Spencer, Matt Booty, Aaron Greenberg. Like, this wasn't those making this decision. I don't think. I think this come from a step above, which I know Phil reports to Satya Nadella, but I feel like that's where it come to, which was like the finance team going, hey, we have this many users. If we charge this much, we can cover the cost of Game Pass for the next however many years. And then someone going, that's a good idea, do it. And it happens, and then we see the blowback.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen Netflix rise their prices every once in a while, and Microsoft was just really like, yo, I want to match Netflix completely. We like everything, the whole entire prices they've rise since they've launched. We just want to like catch up to them in that increase, you know?
Crazy. Absolutely nuts. Here's a question. I know now it's a hypothetical. Would this have made you move to PlayStation fully? Because I'll be honest with you, the conversations that I was having in the couple of hours that there were, I was getting to that point where I was like, well, what? Like, why would I pay this much? And let me go on record of saying I've been sent Xbox Ultimate, so I've got probably a year, maybe more. Like, this actually wouldn't have affected me per se. And a lot of people who already had gold, wouldn't have been charged the upgrade fee for this. This was just for new people coming in. So if you were someone who had already got gold and you pay for it every year, this wasn't going to affect you. But would this have made you move console or move to PC? Like, because that's kind of where my head went, where I was like, well, at this point, you're clearly showing you don't care about your console player base. If you're going to charge me but not PC, and they get relatively the same thing, nobody cares about the free games anymore. Quote unquote free, which are not free. Yeah. Like, no one cares about them. They're a talking point on the show every week, and sometimes I get something that I'm interested in, like this week, Resident Evil. So a lot of people are going to play that, especially with a new game coming out. That's not even just a me thing. Like, to give people the opportunity to play Resident Evil 1 and experience that remake is a good thing, but it's not worth $120 a year.
Yeah, no. I absolutely would have switched because, like, I don't think Xbox Live in particular, like the party chat, is that much better at this point. than
not.
PlayStation Party.
Yep.
Like, so it's like there's
It used to be
like the saving grace. Yeah.
Yeah.
PlayStation PSN's like party system used to be horrible.
Yep.
They've progressively gotten better, and Microsoft was so ahead of them that I don't feel like Microsoft's really done much to it in a long time. And if they have, I haven't really noticed it. Especially when you compare it, like we use Discord a lot. Discord is significantly better than it.
Yep.
And that is more
PC
privileged
based.
of us. Yeah, PC based. You know, because people have good mics on it. There's a lot more you can control on it as opposed to party.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, where's that worth? And it just would not have been there for me. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was a crazy one. It was crazy. Seeing the reactions online was absolutely nuts. Let's jump into what's been in our box, dude. Before we do that, though, I need to remember to announce that I've officially partnered with Elgato. This is the first piece of content this will be mentioned in that I've actually said it, but I put it out on Twitter yesterday. Did you see my video at all? My Twitter video?
Yes, I really liked the video.
Dude, how old have I got?
Dude, I was noticing. I was like, wow, Pixie's still looking young.
Bro, how old have I got? Wow, it was nuts. But yeah, no, I thank you for everyone that has liked it and retweeted and everything, obviously. I've officially partnered now with Elgato, so they power all of my live streams and my YouTube content. So just wanted to let people know that. So if you see me using any Elgato products, let me know if you want feedback on them, if you're looking to get a new mic, things like that. This isn't an ad read. This isn't like, I haven't got like one of these once a week or anything like that, but I thought I'd let people know nonetheless. So yeah, man, it's exciting times. Exciting times for me. We've spoken about partnering with companies and stuff like that, like in private before. I got turned down for my partnership last year. So to kick off this year with a big new celebration like this was a nice feeling. I've got to admit, it was a nice feeling. Yeah. But that's enough chit chat. Forget that. Don't worry about any of that. Let's jump into what's been in our box. What you been playing, Crash? Nothing.
I played some Apex the other night. Last night, or the night before, whenever.
Apex.
Yeah. So yeah, Ben wanted to play some games. I played some Apex with him, and I don't know what it was. Whether I didn't play for such a long time, or my internet was finally in, and my internet at the old place was horrible.
Yeah.
Or even if I was getting like a good connection, I would still lag, even if I had good internet. Where here I wasn't really lagging at all. I won like 4 matches or something like that.
You won 4 matches?
I won like 4 matches.
Bro, what? You're gonna start carrying me in games again. About time.
On the back real quick. I'm gonna chalk it up to the fact that I haven't played in a long time, and it's just luck.
Skill-based matchmaking.
I didn't get into my own hid.
Skill-based
matchmaking. I don't want to say that. I want to make it seem like it's more on me than the skill.
Okay, cool. Then it was definitely you. You were playing like a god, and that god internet you've got now. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That being said, funny. I played Fortnite for the first time in a few months now, I guess. Really, me and a couple of people in Discord, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember why I don't play this game anymore. Slow, so slow.
Yeah.
So slow.
I guess like if you can build well, there's a little bit more action to it, and you actually building. Like the battles are still slow and they're long, but you are actively doing something as opposed to like
in compared to COD and like Apex and other games, it's just so the gameplay, the moment to moment gameplay is so slow. Like we came 8th twice in our couple of games, and I was just like, yeah, this is just isn't fun. Like I had kills and stuff, and I did get killed, but I'm like, this isn't it anymore. This just isn't it anymore. I love the thing is with Fortnite is I love the skins, man, and I love the events and stuff. That's what they're so good at. But just playing it on a one-off whim, I was like, oh yeah, I don't need to come back. I do not need to come back.
You want a hot take?
Hit me.
I think Fortnite's going to have a pretty drastic fall off.
When?
I think it'll be over the course of like the next year.
Really?
It'll just like continually drop off next year, 2 years. Yeah.
They just announced their £200 million World Cup.
Yeah, but the problem with Fortnite is it's incredibly skill-based matchmaking. And the more they go against that, the more like the core audience steps away.
True.
And then you're adhering to a casual audience that's really fickle, and you'll get them back for the next Disney event or the next whatever.
Yeah.
But they won't consistently be in the game, which might be good enough for Fortnite because they're making their money and everything. But I think as it being viewed as like one of the big games, I think it'll slowly fall off.
I wonder
because it's happened.
There's nothing currently out there on the horizon that I look at and go, oh, that's the killer though. Like Halo has the opportunity with it being a free to play, I guess, but I think it needs a battle royale to really impact like that audience, the Warzone, Fortnite, Apex. It needs a battle royale, and then it could take over. But I just don't know. Don't know.
Yeah. The problem with Halo is that Halo's high skill based, and it's hard for people to get into it. Whereas people get into it for a little bit, like that first period where it comes out. It happens with skill games all the time. It happens with a bunch of fighting games. It happens with even Call of Duty to a degree is more skilled than Warzone in certain aspects because you have to constantly be on. You have to constantly be able to know how to adjust,
keep up with the meta, all that stuff. No, you're 100% right. We'll have to just wait and see, really. The big game I've been playing, Crash, which I'm sure you and the audience will be shocked to hear, I've been playing a game you may have heard of called Hitman 3. Nah, anybody who's listened to my Xbox and me knows MC Fixer doesn't do stealth. Like, that's not a genre that gets me ever, right? Just not interested normally. I've got to tell you, Hitman 3 is such a fantastic game. I'm shocked. I finished the first two main missions, like the story things. The way they break down Hitman is super interesting. It's like no other game I've ever played, which is like, it's a sandbox that you can do whatever the hell you want in, right? Like, you go in, you have your mission, which is like, kill these targets. That's your mission. But throughout what you're doing, you have other story beats that you can go and do, like get intel or listening to conversations and things like that then expand upon what's going on. And I'm not going to spoil it at all, the second mission, but if you've seen the film Knives Out, have you seen that, Crush?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you think of that concept, and now the story, and apply that to the Hitman game, and it might be my favourite stealth mission I've ever played in a video game, period.
Interesting.
Again, I don't want to talk about it too much because it only came out this week, sorry. And again, thank you to IO for sending me a copy of the game to play. But yeah, it literally was... It was an experience that I wanted to know the story element so much that it made me roleplay the character in which I was meant to. And it made me be so invested in it, in this one mission especially, where I didn't just run around and once I got caught, start shooting everyone, which is exactly what I do in Hitman. I try and be stealthy. As soon as I get caught, the machine gun comes out and I just start spraying. This mission, though, was so well designed and so well thought out that it really made me think the whole time I was playing. And the whole mission took me about maybe an hour and a half, and I've only done the first part of this mission as well. Because there's two other scenarios in this same like hub world sort of thing. I was blown away by it. I was absolutely blown away by it. And for them to be able to get someone who doesn't enjoy playing slow, not shooting people in the face, hiding bodies, listening into conversations, being a spy, and actually got me to buy into it, I have to commend IO for that. And I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked in how much I liked it. Really am.
I don't like this. I've been gone a month. I come back and Fixes playing stealth games. That's my thing. You're not allowed to play stealth games.
Dude, honestly, if you love stealth games, this is 100% a pick up for you. Like, it's that mission again. It's such an easy concept for a mission, but for some reason it just got me. I just wanted to know all of this information, and now I can't wait to go and play it again and learn new things, and follow other characters around and see what they're getting up to and things like that. It's just blew me away. Absolutely blew me away.
I've heard a lot of good things about it, to be fair. Like, it's reviewing really well.
Yep.
I'm really interested to play it at some point soon.
Yeah, it's weird to think that it will probably be on my Game of the Year list already. Like, it's weird to think a Hitman game will be on my Game of the Year list. To me, that's super strange. Super, super strange. But, yeah, man. Like, if you haven't played Hitman, and the one thing I will say is if you haven't played Hitman 1 and 2, you are going to be lost when it comes to the story. The main Agent 47 story arc. You're not going to understand who this character is. You're not going to understand who these people are. You're not going to understand why they're important. None of that actually matters, in my opinion. Like, I couldn't give a crap about any of that. But just playing out these other scenarios and hunting down these characters, that is the part that's interesting to me. So, yeah, it's really good. Really, really good. Moving on though, Crash, the big news this week, I know I didn't make it topic of the show, we had other things to talk about, unfortunately. The Resident Evil Showcase was a thing. Did you get a chance to watch it?
I did watch it, yeah.
Ah, damn, I was expecting you to say no, I'm not going to lie.
I watched it because I knew I was going to be on the podcast this week, and Fix watched it. I know, because he was streaming, so I got to watch it.
Fair enough, fair enough. This one was taken from IGN as well, and is written by Jonathan Dornbush. Resident Evil Village Showcase and all the announcement gameplays and more. So the big news the big thing we really saw from this showcase was we got to see our first gameplay of Resident Evil Village. Again, Resident Evil Village, not Resident Evil 8. So stop saying Resident Evil 8, people. What do you think? What did you think of the look of the game? Go on, I'll let you go first because I've got plenty of thoughts.
It's weird. You know, when I see Resident Evil games, I think about them in a specific light and in a specific, like, enemy style and all these things. I don't think this game had anything that would make me say it looks like a Resident Evil game. Maybe the really tall chick that everybody wants to step on them. Maybe her.
Let me tell you, I'd let her step on me. I've got to let you know. To be honest with you, I'd probably let all the sisters step on me. If I'm being totally honest with you.
I need somebody who's good at drawing to please draw it.
I need you to draw 4 women all stepping on me at once with me enjoying it, though. Make sure I've got a smile.
Yeah, a smile. Maybe make him blush a little bit.
The one thing I will say is I've obviously been very critical of Resident Evil 7 in terms of it not being a Resident Evil game, which I then went back and played, and I disagree with myself a little bit. I still stand by it to a certain point as well, though. Resident Evil Village looks... And someone tweeted it out and summed it up perfectly, which it looks like the beta for Resident Evil 4 Remake. Like, all of the mechanics of what is going to make Resident Evil 4, which we'll talk about in a second, Resident Evil 4 Remake amazing, are going to be in this game. Because you have the merchant, the new merchant which has been confirmed is Duke, which is a huge part in Resident Evil 4, the merchant. You have the box organization, which was obviously humongous in Resident Evil 4 when we first saw that. To see that in this game is very weird again. And then also looking at the environments, it looks very Resident Evil 4-ish. And whoever it was, I don't know who tweeted that, so I'm sorry for that. But seeing them tweet like, oh, this is just a beta for that, I was like, that's exactly what this is. Remember, this was meant to be an offshoot game that wasn't Resident Evil 8, and it got pulled into being Resident Evil 8 in a weird way, but it's not, and it is, and it's weird. Obviously, it's a tie-in about... There's if you watch the gameplay, you find out that this is very much heavily linked with Resident Evil 7. Ethan is there. Ethan has a baby. His girlfriend's there, which is like, okay, but what about my playthrough? Because I didn't take the wife. I took Zoe at the end of the game. Like, what the hell? Spoilers for Resident Evil 7, I'm sorry. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. It's an interesting one. I haven't had a chance to play the demo yet, which got announced. Because
I'm surprised you haven't played it.
Because they mentioned there's no combat. And to me, it very much came across, and maybe I'm wrong, I haven't tried it out. I've got it downloaded, but I haven't tried it out. But it very much came across as, hey guys, check out our tech demo and look how good our environment is. And I was like, I don't need to do that right now. I'm sure there's a little bit more to it than that.
Yeah.
But it didn't, when the way they presented it, when as soon as you mentioned no combat, if they hadn't mentioned no combat, I think I would have enjoyed it and played it straight away. But because they mentioned no combat, and I'm like, okay, I know the Resident Evil engine is beautiful. I know this world is going to look amazing. So I know how this is going to play because I've played 7, which means I'm definitely playing it on PC, just so people are aware. I'm playing this on PC first. I've ordered it on Xbox as well, but I'm playing it on PC first, definitely. Because I enjoyed Resident Evil 7 so much more on PC than I did on Xbox. But yeah, so obviously we saw more gameplay. Did you enjoy the gameplay that we saw, or not really?
Not really. It didn't, like, fighting the enemies with the swords. I thought it was like cool. You could shoot the swords out of their hands, but then you got the big dude with the hammer. And I'm like, are they trying to be Bloodborne? I don't know what's going on. It just seemed very, and mind you, I'm not a big Resident Evil guy.
No.
The most I've enjoyed a Resident Evil game is Resident Evil 2 Remake, and I also enjoyed Resident Evil 5, best Resident Evil game. But yeah, it didn't look like Resident Evil to me, but doesn't really mean much because I'm not into Resident Evil in general.
What I will say, aesthetically, it looks more Resident Evil than Resident Evil 5 and 6 and 7. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Very much, obviously, you've got a mansion-y type building. You've got the dark hallways. They even showed us some of the puzzles. It very much seems more Resident Evil than we've gotten in a long time, which is nice. It's a nice feeling for me as a Resident Evil fan. It's nice to see them going back to its roots in a way, and that's why even more so I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely 4 inspired. It feels, and I can't wait until we see 4 so I can actually prove my theory of like, well, this was in Village, and this was in Village, and this was in Village, and it's very similar to like what they did with Resident Evil 2 remake to Resident Evil 3 remake, where it's like Mr. X, Nemesis, same system. Exactly the same system.
Yeah.
There's little tweaks, but same system. Obviously, the dodge mechanic, like just all these little things that have been added. The only thing that turned me off about this demo was the emphasis they said on guarding, because I don't really like defense in Resident Evil games. Like, I understood the dodge in 3 worked for me, but putting my hands up in front of my face when something is slicing me with a sword just instantly takes me out of that immersion for some reason. And that's meant to give me a defense. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't work for me.
I want to be fair here. If I remember correctly, way back with Resident Evil 2 Remake, you did not like the fact that there was a dodge, or it was in Resident Evil 3.
It was 3. The dodge has always been in 3. I didn't like it when I first saw it, but once I played it, it made more sense. So maybe that'll be the case here.
Yeah. It's possible. I do think when I saw that, I was like, it's just weird. There's just so much stuff about this that I'm not like saying that I don't like it or I don't want to try it or anything like that. It's just, it just seemed weird to me.
But it's Resident Evil. It's gonna be weird. It's a weird. Series.
That is very, very, very true.
The questions I have, you're 100% right though. When it comes to enemies, it's like, okay, what are these zombie-looking, fucking ghost-looking dudes with the hoods up? What are you? I need to know what you are because you're obviously not zombies. What is this big dude with the hammer? Like, what are you? What is this virus? What is going on in this castle? Like. And that's the fun of it, right? Like, we've got werewolves, it looks like we've got vampires, we've got these 3 sisters that are hot as hell, but freaky as hell, which, you know, a bit of freaky deaky, a bit of hot, you know, mixed in. It doesn't matter. Back to the podcast. I'm interested to see their abilities. Obviously, we've got the bugs are back, which has always been a big thing in Resident Evil as well. It's the most hyped I've been for a Resident Evil game since they showed Resident Evil 5. Nah.
Really?
If you thought I was excited for Resident Evil 2, remember, I wasn't doing YouTube when Resident Evil 5 came out, yeah? If you would have saw MC Fixer's face when they showed Resident Evil 5, I was jumping around. I remember it like it was yesterday. Do you remember the big monitors before we had flat screen monitors? Like the big white monitors PCs come with? I had one of those. I was using that type of PC. I had one of those. And I remember it came up on YouTube, Resident Evil 5 demo, and they showed, if you watch that first trailer, which now looking back, it wasn't a good trailer, but I hadn't had Resident Evil for such a long time, and 4 was the last one we had, that I was like, oh my god, I was running around my bedroom, I ran downstairs, I grabbed my mum, I pulled her upstairs, she didn't give a crap, she doesn't care about Resident Evil, but it mattered so much to me, like I was so excited for that. Like, if you thought my Resident Evil 2 reaction was something, my 5 was double that. And though I didn't react crazy in this, I'm interested. I like where they're going with this in terms of. Obviously, I'm someone who prefers third person compared to first, right? But I like what I'm seeing in everything of this game. The puzzles, especially the aesthetic, looks good. I want to check out this castle and get lost in it and figure out the best strats. I can't wait to learn the speed run. I can't wait to like all those little things. It's got me really excited for a first person Resident Evil where 7 didn't. We know Chris is in it. We know he's there.
Yeah.
How much of it is he there is what worries me the most, though. Because I've got a bad feeling it's going to be at the start and at the end, and we're not going to see Chris at all, other than that.
That's definitely a possibility. But is it your Chris this time, or is it still not your Chris?
Crash, I just ordered a £200 plus ornament of this Chris. And it still isn't my Chris. It still isn't my Chris.
Okay.
So,
right.
For those who don't remember, I have ordered the special edition for Resident Evil 2 and 3, and now Village. Because so it was Leon ornament, Claire ornament, and now it's Chris. I have to try and get them. Every time I try and get them, I get cancelled. So I probably won't get this one either. But look, I've got to try.
You're like, I gotta try it.
I have to try.
I respect that. So, with you not being the biggest Resident Evil 4 fan,
yes, there's news about 4, so we'll get to that if you can hold it.
Okay.
Think of this moment, put a pin in it, and hold it because we got to get through the rest of these little bits. They also showed off. So Resident Evil 8 got showed. Resident Evil 8 demo on PlayStation that will be coming to Xbox at some point, but it's currently on PlayStation only. Then they showed off the next new Resident Evil game, which is Resident Evil Versus. Oh, this looks like hot trash.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, yeah, that looked...
It looks
bad.
Awful. It looks awful. I'm so disappointed in Capcom when it comes to what they could do with Resident Evil multiplayer. They clearly want to have a Resident Evil multiplayer game, right? That's what they want. They've wanted it. They wanted to do it with Project Resistance. It didn't work. They've now done it with... I'm not saying this didn't work, so I've not played it, but just from the aesthetics of it and watching the gameplay, it doesn't look fun, Resident Evil Versus. Obviously, I will play it. I will probably put a lot of hours into it because it's Resident Evil. But it just doesn't look good. All they need to do is reboot Resident Evil Outbreak. It is literally just remake Resident Evil Outbreak. They've clearly got their netcode working now, so they know how to make online work, which is brilliant. And the fans are absolutely clamoring for an Outbreak remake. Just do that. It's 4-player co-op. It's actually fun. Everyone has their different, what's the word I'm looking for? Classes. It's built for this, Crash. It's built for this. But no, instead they decided to keep throwing in these weird multiplayer modes that no one's asked for or wants.
I think they just need to settle and get some Fortnite skins, and they're like, there's our multiplayer game. Go play some Fortnite.
Yo, it's the build the world or whatever it is, but they make the actual zombies in it, and they make it 18 plus. Perfect, done.
Yeah,
no building, no building. Like, well, you can build it. You can only build your base. Can't build when you're shooting zombies.
You have like 30 seconds at the begining to build real quick or whatever.
Exactly. But yeah, you weren't hot on this Versus either then, I assume?
No, it looked... I'm going to be 100% honest. I looked at it and I was like, kind of looks like a PS3 game. Because it didn't even like visually look great.
Nope.
Like at least with Resident Evil Resistance, like that visually looked like... It looks like a Resident Evil game and whatever.
Yeah.
This was like, oh, it's a blast from the past. They're trying to capture some old style games or whatever it is. It doesn't look good. The concept doesn't seem great. I don't know personally. It just did absolutely nothing and kind of took away some of the moments that I feel like the rest of the announcements did and the rest of what they showed did. You get this, and it's just...
But I knew this was coming. I even said it in my stream where I was like, I guarantee they do a multiplayer Versus thing. Guarantee it. Because we haven't had one since Resident Evil 5. And again, they've been trying to put multiplayer on us for so long now. Nobody cares. Nobody wants it.
Yeah.
We want co-op, but we don't want multiplayer versus... Give us Mercenaries mode. Even that was still funner than this. It's just... it's so weird. It's weird. Super weird.
They really should just go in and be like, yeah, we're just going to make a full co-op game and add new levels to it or whatever if they want to find a way to monetize it or something like that.
Outbreak Crash. Trust me. Trust
I've
me.
never played Outbreak.
Trust me.
I'll trust you.
Trust
I
me.
put my faith in you.
Thank
you.
They did announce a crossover event with The Division 2 as well to announce the 25th anniversary of Resident Evil. Ubisoft have made some special cameo. Will make a special cameo in it. You've got like the RPD vest. I'm jumping back in The Division just to get it. I'll be honest with you. Like, I don't know why, but I have to. I don't care about The Division, but just to run around and look like a Resident Evil character in this world, yeah, I'm in. Why not? Why not? So if you log in between the 2nd of February and the 15th of February, you earn the Leon S. Kennedy RPD outfit, and then there's other goodies you can earn in-game as well. So look out for that. Yeah, that's about it. Obviously, they tease the film as well, but obviously, this is an Xbox podcast. I'm pretty sure no one gives a crap about that. To move on, so what was you going to say about Resident Evil 4? Because we've got a whole story here, but do you want me to read the story first, or do you want to say your bit first?
I'll say my bit first.
Okay, cool.
So, with Resident Evil 4, you're not a huge fan. With Resident Evil 8... Wait.
You're saying I'm not a huge fan?
You're not a huge fan of 4?
I love Resident Evil 4. Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
I don't like what it did to the series.
All right.
I understand that Resident Evil 4 is a special, fantastic game that changed the gaming industry forever. I understand all of that. I think it's a great game. It still holds up today. It can still be played at any system, on any console. It plays best on the Wii. That's how good this game is. But if you look what happened after we got Resident Evil 4... They went with like, okay, this is an action game. We need action. We need multiplayer. And look what we got after. We got 5 and 6, which are not good games. I'm sorry.
I feel like you've practiced that response in the mirror.
I haven't. I'm just passionate. Just passionate, baby. Just passionate. I promise. But go on. Sorry.
Does 8 worry you at all with like adopting certain 4 mechanics, or was nothing that bothered you?
No.
None of the stuff they showed was stuff that...
No.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you why. Because of this next news story, which is Resident Evil 4 remake plans to undergo major overhaul. Those excited for the upcoming Resident Evil fan favorite Resident Evil 4 remake may have to wait a bit longer before getting their hands on it. It appears the long-awaited Resident Evil 4 remake that is in development at Capcom is about to undergo some big behind-the-scenes changes. Last year, Video Games Chronicle reported developer M2 has been leading development on the project since 2018. However, VGC recently reported that the studio has seen its role be significantly reduced due to disagreements over the direction according to individuals with knowledge of the project. Capcom Division 1, an internal team at the company that conducted development on Resident Evil, Devil May Cry games, will be taking the reins over the project from here on out, and not much is known what M2 will be doing pretty much from here. M2 are also the team that worked on Resident Evil 3 and Metal Gear Solid's Revengeance and Bayonetta 2. So the rumours are out there, Crash, about Resident Evil 4. And it's all but confirmed pretty much that it's in the works. A bit like 2 was and a bit like 3 was. We knew years upon years out of that. I was going through some old footage from my Elgato announcement, right? And like, I had a 2-minute video of like me just screaming that Resident Evil 2 has been confirmed when it hadn't been confirmed, but it was just a rumor, but we all knew. So it's the same with this, right? The rumor on the streets are that it's going to be heavily different than what 4 currently is. So I am hoping that Resident Evil 4 is going to have the same mechanics of which we've spoken about. It's going to hit a lot of the big story beats, but it's going to be a lot darker in tone. Because that was always my problem with 4. It's not a dark game. It's a very, like, you're in the town, it's daylight, and obviously you go into the cave and even the swamp bit, but it feels too bright. It doesn't feel dark and gritty enough. I'm hoping with the remake, we're still going to hit the big story beats in Resident Evil 4 because it's a great story, but it's going to be a bit darker. That's my hope for the game.
Do you think the poor reception for Resident Evil 3 remake has anything to do with what's going on with 4 right now?
I think they know they can't half-heart this. If I don't know what's going on at Capcom, obviously. All speculation at this point, but I think they know that Resident Evil 3 had the potential to be better than Resident Evil 2. It had, because it had Nemesis, which people are shit scared of Nemesis, but they didn't utilize him at all. They had the whole world of 3 using the actual city. Like, there was so much they could have done, and it felt like they did the very much bare minimum of it. They even built the clock tower, and we can't go there. Like, there's just so much missing from 3 that I think Capcom have taken it personally and gone, okay, we can't miss with 4. This is going to be compared to original 4, the same way 2 was compared to original 2, and I can only speak for myself, but like a lot of people prefer remake 2 than original 2, which is crazy to think of because original 2 is legendary. I think when we sit back and think about Resident Evil games, we're going to think about remake 2 like that as well eventually. But it's still too close that I can't. I go, yeah, it's my favorite game of all time. Oh, maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I've beat it like 10 times. What is it? It's hard. It's hard. But I'm excited. I'm excited for all this Resident Evil news. I'm excited for Village. I'm excited for 4. I'm excited they better make Code Veronica remake.
Do you think that? Do you still know?
No chance. No chance.
Maybe.
Hey.
Well, where does Code Veronica come in?
Story-wise?
Yeah.
Code Veronica is 1, 3... Well, 1, the first half of 2, 3, second half of 2, because that takes place in between. 3... Sorry, let me think. 1... 0, sorry, I missed 0. 0, 1, 2, half, 3, second half of 2, Code Veronica, then 4. Okay. Yeah, I think.
So now would have been
right.
the time to Code Veronica. Instead of hearing all this stuff about 4, we would have been hearing about Code
Also,
Veronica.
there's a stage show that's on YouTube that's fully in Japan that is apparently canon to the story, which fits in between there somewhere. I've watched it. So yeah, I think that's right. Good? I mean, subtitles, bro. You know I can't read.
True. You're just watching it.
Hey,
trying to keep up.
I've got to say, hey, it's there. It's there. It's there. That's all I can say. It's there. Let's move on to our next story, which is Hitman 3. Hitman 3 sales have been absolutely amazing, apparently. Hitman 3 had the series' biggest digital launch sale yet. According to IO Interactive, Hitman 3 is already off to a great start, with the best digital launch sales in the series. Blah, 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 blah. They put out a statement saying this on their Twitter, that it's the biggest launch. I'm super happy for them. They got so many good reviews, 9s and 5 stars and 4 out of 5s, and I'm super happy for IO. They believed in themselves. And that's something that we all try and do, right? No, it doesn't matter what you're in, content creation, building games. You try and believe in yourself to the best of your ability, but you also know that it can fail. And they took a big risk wanting the Hitman IP. It was something that it done okay. It done okay. Yeah. It wasn't amazing. And I really hope that this allows them to really work on that James Bond game and it be the best that it can be now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like hearing about Hitman 3 and the way people are perceiving it, kind of has me excited for the James Bond game. Yeah, I don't really care for James Bond personally. Like it's not you're IP that I care for.
Yeah, you disgust me in every way, shape, and form.
I'm not British. It's not for me.
Whoa! It's not just because I'm British that I like James Bond. How dare you? It probably is. Why. It probably is. It probably is. He's ours. He's ours, all right? It's the one thing Americans can't take from us. He's ours. And then you took him. And then you took him. And then you took him. I'm pretty sure Pierce Brosnan's American, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. He did Mamma Mia as well, right? Is that him? Yeah, I think I'm right. I think I'm right. Don't worry about it. Carry on. You're right. Like, I agree with you, though, where I'm like, now after playing this, I'm like, wow, IO, gadgets, James Bond, as long as they just need to stay away from cars. Just stay away from cars.
Yeah, but like James Bond, like in cars,
I know,
like,
but just stay away from cars. Or
I don't know anything about James Bond, but I know he drives cars.
you know he's got nice cars. That's the problem. Is they're gonna. That's the one thing that will show up like a bad rash on this next game. Is like if they have a car racing scene or a car on rail part, or those never translate well. Like you need to do it different.
I think it can work if it's not super long and it's not repetitive, that it doesn't pop up more than once.
It needs to be easy and it needs to be over quickly.
It needs to be easier than the Final Fantasy VII remake bit where you're on a motorcycle. And that part's not bad, I don't think.
That goes on for way too long.
It goes on for too long, but like in general, other than that, I don't think that part's too bad.
Yeah,
so like if they cut it shorter than that and like keep it generally in that like not super skillful, you're just there for the experience.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. I'll allow it. But yeah,
Thank you.
give me that IO game. Give me it. Next up, Cyberpunk 2077 patch notes are out. The 1.1 patch is now out on PC, console, and Stadia. CD Projekt Red has released the patch 1.1 for Cyberpunk, as detailed on cyberpunk.net. The fixes are many fixes for quests and open world details, which you can see below. I'm not going to read through them all. You've got UI visual changes, visual changes, achievement fixes. Also the same thing for those that are on the PS4 and the Xbox One. I'm still not compelled to play this, even with all the fixes. Like, there is so much. If you go through and look at it, guys, there's a huge list, and I'm happy that it's getting fixed. They've worked on the AI traffic, the street traffic, environmental damage, all the things that people had complaints of apparently has been stabilized and improved on. I just still don't care about this game anymore.
Yeah, they dropped the ball so hard with this. Even like I enjoyed the game.
Did you beat it?
I'm on the last mission. I have not been in the last mission. I haven't been able to play. My Xbox has been away.
Yeah.
I've like just hearing what the studio and the heads of the studios and them subtly trying to blame QA for why the game turned out this way. And it's just like, why do you guys open your mouths? Just like stop talking, stop saying anything. Because like constantly it's just like, oh, this studio that I held in really high regard for a while is just like constantly just like going lower and lower and lower to the point where like I don't know if with me personally they could ever re-earn what they lost, even as somebody who enjoyed what I played, because basically what they did is they had a test way back in 2019 or whatever where they're like on track with how it's going. It needs to be done in 2022 is like when it'll be done, and they launched it a year earlier knowing that, so they already knew that there were issues with it, and they didn't care. They just wanted the money, and it's very clearly that I think people would have waited another year for this game to be good.
100%. 100.
Disappointing.
Oh, extremely disappointing. Should I tell you what's not disappointing? Cyberpunk's,
yeah, tell me what's...
Cyberpunk's now I'm pretty sure it come out like the other day that it's like the biggest selling game of all time or something like that. It's not up there with GTA, but like I think like digitally and stuff like that, it's like ridiculous. I'm like, they made the money, dude. Like they did what every big corporation does, which is they're nice to their customers when they're small, and as soon as they get big, they're like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Money.
This just creates such a bad learned behavior for them, especially like if in the long run, like they fix everything and the game starts getting talked about in a more positive light, and then the next Witcher comes out or whatever the next game they put out and people are hyped for that again. It just creates a really bad pattern for them where it's like, we can release a really bad product and just patch it up afterwards. So to be fair, there's multiple companies that have done to a degree. I don't think it's been this bad. With the exception of maybe Fallout 76, but I didn't really play with that, so I can't really speak on it.
Yeah.
That has been that bad and just been worked on over time. So I don't know.
So to move on, to back up what I was just saying, Cyberpunk launch month sets digital sales record despite refunds. Superdata reports it made $12 billion in digital spending for December, a new high mark for monthly total revenue.
Congrats to them.
Was it worth
it? It only cost the reputation.
What did it cost you, Crash? What did it? Everything. Yeah. Oh man, it is. It's sad. It's very very sad. But unfortunately, that's business.
Yeah. The worst part is the developers. Really, I think we talk about this a lot, where it's like the high ups just sort of ruin it for the developers down below them when they force stuff like this. And it is a case like where a lot of developers who are like, we didn't want to release it now. We would have rather let it like sit in for another year or whatever. They're just going to get blamed for this, which is
100%, 100%. Last story that we'll do today is how do you say it? Is it Voracious Visions? Vicarious
Visions.
Thank you. I knew it was. To be fair, I knew it was Vicarious. I missed you correcting me. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I didn't even try and pronounce it. I missed you, man. I missed you. They have officially merged into Blizzard, as reported by GamesIndustry.biz. Activision publishing studio
Vicarious. It's
Thank
Vicarious.
you. Vicarious Vision will be merged into Blizzard Entertainment effective today. The studio will be shuffled into Blizzard's development teams to continue working on Blizzard IPs such as Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Diablo, and more. I saw on the rumor mills, apparently they're working on a Diablo 2 remake, is being announced. I think this broke a lot of people's hearts, especially after Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake came out, and people really enjoyed that. People very much had their hopes for some of the other Tony Hawk games that have done really well, but that was not to be.
I wouldn't be surprised if those remakes still happen. I don't know if they'll come out good. Yeah. This move seemed a little odd to me because there was that, and they also did the Crash remakes as well.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like those games just didn't ship enough units for them to be like, yeah, we're just gonna keep them making remakes, or what happened there.
I bet they shift enough, meaning enough to make money, but not enough to move the needle. And at the end of the day, when you have, if you're a studio that needs to keep making money, and then someone like Blizzard comes along, so I'm going to keep you employed during a pandemic, I think you're going to go, all right, yeah, we have to work on World of Warcraft and Overwatch and like the big IPs. Maybe not what people wanted to work on, but it's still a job at the end of the day. And I think that's something you could never overlook, especially right now during the pandemic. So
it's very true. Very true.
Games with Gold this month. We are getting Gears 5. I know Games with Gold, sore subject. We don't talk about that, I know. Top of the show, go find it. Gears 5 will be available from February 1st to February 28th. Resident Evil will be available February 1st to February 28th. Dandara, Trials of the Fear Edition. Did I say that right? Dandara? Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, I think so.
Available February 16th to March 15th, and Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb available February 1st to February 15th. They tried to give you I forgot, and Lost Planet 2 available February 16th to February 28th. I love how they tried to give you extra games. They were like, hey, we're going to double the price, but having extra games. No, we're not taking it. We're not taking it.
It's not what we want. We don't care about these games.
Get out of here with that. Let's plug and get ourselves out of here, dude. What you got to plug this week?
This podcast on YouTube, my Xbox and Me YouTube page, the website. I've seen the Zyger's been posted.
Zyger's, dude.
So shout out to Zyger.
Zyger was literally in my chat with the Resident Evil news, right? And literally was an article up in like 10 seconds later. I was like, what the what? Someone ate their Cheerios this morning. Like, damn. Like, yeah, shout out to Zyger. He's back writing, and we missed him. We read some of his articles today. So shout out to myxboxandme.com. Again, if you want to write for myxboxandme.com, let me know. We're looking for people to do podcasts, looking for people to make YouTube content. If you are someone out there that wants to work on a YouTube channel, a successful YouTube channel, I may say, we get views. We do get views. We got subs. If you want to come work with us, let me know. Follow me at MCFixer. And yeah, man. The big thing I'm pushing still is my second channel, youtube.com/more MCFixer. Right now, the goal is to try and get 1,000 subscribers. We're only sitting at 140. That's mainly where all my gameplay stuff's going. And like, I've got some try not to laugh challenges that are going to be going up there soon as well. So yeah, and I'm going to let you know, the video listeners, if you're watching, I'm going to let you see something that I haven't shown anyone. I cut my own hair today. If you made it this far, have a look at my poor shape up. Look at this. Oh, God. Oh, God.
You're not pixelated anymore.
It's bad, bro. I tried to do my hair with a beard trimmer. That's just
On
for
a
you guys.
positive
If you made it this far in the video, drop in the comments below. And until next time, I will love you, leave you, and see you all later. Goodbye.
Bye.